Good morning, everybody. We've got a sharply higher trade in the grain markets here early on Monday morning. It is 5:55 a.m. Central Time as I speak here. May corn futures up 22.5 cents at 776.5. December corn is up 19 3/4 at 649 1/4. May soybeans up 34 1/4 at 16.95 last trade. November beans up 18 1/4 at 1468.5. May Chicago wheat up the limit, which is 85 cents today, 12.94. May Kansas City wheat up the limit, 85 cents, 12.99.5. May spring wheat is up the 60-cent limit at 12.07. If you guys are listening on the podcast, as always, appreciate it. Leave me a rating or review on that Apple app in particular. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like these videos, leave me a comment, help me to keep growing this thing. If you need some additional assistance from me, go to my new and improved website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, check out my premium subscription service. I send out a morning email, text messages, subscriber-only videos to all of my customers every single business day. I cover a ton of information, everything from news to grain marketing to weather, all of this wrapped into one package for $50 a month. You can cancel it at any time. There's no other fee. There's no other obligation. So absolutely give that deal a shot, guys. I did two different subscriber-only videos on Friday last week. I did one regarding the corn market and this kind of severed relationship between the cash corn market and the futures market. We've got the same thing going on in wheat. I discussed that kind of middle of the week last week, but I did one regarding corn on Friday. So if you're interested in why your cash market is not the same as the futures market or even close to it at this point in time, give this deal a shot. I did a second one regarding weekend risks in the market, everything from policy to the Russia situation, all sorts of things. And these same risks apply here every minute of every day as this Russia thing unfolds. So give this deal a shot, guys. Wheat futures limit up this morning. We are limit up in the SRW, HRW, and spring wheat contracts. Those limits expanded to 85 cents in the winter wheat contracts. So the SRW market posted an all-time high on a continuation basis on Friday. 13.48 per bushel is the highest trade for any spot month contract. And granted, that is in the lightly traded March 22 contract, but I suppose you can say we're at all-time highs. Your May 22 SRW contract was up 40% just last week. It gained $3.49 per bushel. That's the best week on record. The May 22 SRW contract has now rallied 73% or $5.47 per bushel from its early February low. So essentially in the last month, we've rallied the wheat market $5.50. Unbelievable. The May 22 HRW contract was up 36% last week or $3.23 per bushel. The export disruption in the Black Sea continues to drive price action. Just an absolutely parabolic rally in the wheat market pretty much across the board here. Unbelievable action. So Russia's invasion of Ukraine does continue this week. There was a promised ceasefire in the city of Mariupol, which collapsed. Russian troops continue to encircle cities. AP reports that up to 1.4 million Ukrainians have fled the country. Ukraine continues to fight. Men aged 18 to 60 were ordered to stay and fight. Putin made some comments over the weekend. He blames the war on Ukrainian leadership. He said this: if they continue to do what they are doing, they are calling into question the future of Ukrainian statehood. And if this happens, it will be entirely on their conscience. Putin went on to make some comments about Western sanctions. He said this: these sanctions that are being imposed, they are akin to declaring war, but thank God we haven't got there yet. I don't know exactly which sanctions he's referring to. There's a lot of things going on. But in any case, this Russia-Ukraine situation appears to be far from over and appears to be escalating, if anything. China says that its wheat crop is in bad shape. The country's ag minister said that the country's wheat crop could be the worst in history, a comment that raised further concerns regarding global wheat supplies. China's the world's largest wheat consumer. They're projected to import, I think, 400 million bushels of wheat this year, but USDA says that they've got a really big stockpile, 144 million metric tons at the end of last year. They had some rare, heavy rainfall last year that delayed planting in a lot of their wheat areas, so just another friendly issue for the wheat market here, I suppose. We do have a USDA report this week. This is your monthly crop production and WASDE report. It will be out on Wednesday. In all likelihood, USDA will make further downward revisions to its South American crop estimates. I don't know if they'll make any supply and demand adjustments based on this Russia-Ukraine situation. Maybe it's too early for that. Maybe they want to wait. I'm not too sure. But that's like the bigger wild card. If it wasn't for this Russia-Ukraine thing, I mean, all eyes would be on U.S. demand prospects, the South American weather situation, general demand, that sort of thing. But this report, I think, takes a backseat to a lot of the things going on in the Black Sea region. Huge rally in the crude oil market overnight. WTI crude oil futures traded above $130 per barrel. The nearby April WTI contract peaked at $130.50 before correcting lower, still well above $120 as I speak here. So that is the highest trade for a spot WTI contract since 2008. The U.S. and its European allies are considering a complete ban on Russian crude oil. There are also some potential delays in the return of crude out of Iran. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken was on Meet the Press yesterday and made some comments regarding this potential ban of Russian crude oil. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said yesterday that the chamber is exploring legislation to ban the import of Russian oil. The national average gas price this morning, $4.07 per gallon, according to AAA data. That's up from $3.61 just last week and $2.77 the same week last year. The all-time high of $4.11 per gallon was recorded in July of 2008, according to AAA. We may be above that by the time you listen to this, for all I know. So we are very, very likely, it's probably a guarantee that you see a new record all-time high national average gas price this week. This has some implications for ethanol potentially. U.S. ethanol stocks are already floating around record high levels. So if you get to a point where people stop driving, there would be a need to reduce the corn grind for ethanol, in my opinion. I think that's a real risk. The cattle market had kind of an ugly day on Friday. There was some cash trade, 140 to 143, I think a little bit at 138, so kind of a mixed bag. Feeder cattle index down to 156. Boxes were mixed on Friday. In the outside markets, the U.S. dollar is higher. The S&P is down 49 points. The Dow Jones is down 370. Bonds off a little bit. Gold's up $25. Crude oil up $7.68 in the April WTI, 123.36. That contract was over 130 last night. Have a great day today, guys. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.